Hello, my name is Ben, and welcome back to Tin Can Customs. We're starting a series on how to build a rat rod, and this is the second week. If you missed the first video, we defined what a rat rod is. I try to do the best I can with that. The second week here, we're going to look at what to build, okay? So in what to build, we go by these two things on the board here, and I'm going to break this down just a second. First thing I want to say is, you know, there's a big rat rod builder. I consider Elon Musk to be a rat rod builder. You know why? Because he took all the best ideas and he put together something, and he said, this is the spaceship I want to build. And it flies, and it goes in space, and it does what it's supposed to do, and it's cool, right? You can do the same thing. You can build a rat rod. We're going to help you put together what it is, what it's going to look like, and you're going to come up with a fabulous car that's going to be a part of this rat rod genre or subculture that we have today, okay? So here's where we're going to start. Years. Over here on this side of the board, you see 4 decades, years, right? The first one here is 1900 to 1930. Now this, to the traditionalists, this is the true years of the rat rod. The issue with this is that this is kind of where it started. It's the rat rod building. It's just the cars would just pull parts together out of junkyards, and kids were building stuff, making stuff that was fun for them because they didn't have a lot of money. You got to think about this Depression era, stuff like, you know, they did what they did. That's come into play with the rat rod genre we talked about, or subculture we're talking about today. So this is the original, okay? 1930 to 1945. Now this is where the cars begin to kind of change a little bit, and they go from this chariot style, where it's just kind of like open cart style, to an actual enclosed vehicle. The vehicles were more waterproof, windshields, begin to have carpet and things like that in it. It goes from carriage to this kind of like bubble car, and that had a lot of reasons behind it. But that's kind of the 1930 to 1945. Now I bring in this 40 to 50s, this 1940s, 1950s. This is where the cars got a little longer, got bigger engines, straight 8, stuff like that come into play, and everything about the car got a little bigger, got a little wider. And then we move into the 60s, 70s. I don't want to get into disturbing that too much right now, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's go in here. You kind of got to pick a car era. What do you want that to be? Do you want it to be open? Do you want it to be closed? Do you want it to be chopped? Do you want a round body? Do you want the bubble back? Those are all questions you can have. So get a bunch of pictures. Flip through the internet. Car eras, 1919, 1920, 1921, and you'll see all the cars. Now, a lot of manufacturers kind of stuck together. There's the big, what we call the big 3, right? General Motors, which was Cadillac, Pontiac, Buick, Oldsmobile, Chevrolet, and you had Ford, obviously Ford, Merck, Lincoln, some of those years, and then you had the Mopars, which is going to be your Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, obviously their truck line. But that's what you have pretty much to look through. Now you have a lot of smaller companies out there too. That makes it doesn't have big names and stuff, but we'll include those too because I can't pull a bunch of them off the top of my head. But anyway, the big 3 are the ones you're going to want to look at. That'll get you started, okay? This side over here, after you pick an era and a body style that you like, we want to go over here, all right? Because to make this vehicle run and put this thing together, it has to have the mechanical aspect, all right? So first thing I want to talk about is this chassis swap, all right? Or the other word for it is the body swap. Where basically what happens is we take something from, let's say, the mid-90s, late 90s, 2000s, 2010, you know, it could be anything from Camaro, it could be, you know, it could be a Mustang, it could be Crown Vic, it could be a Marquis, it could be SUV. There's lots of things out there that you can do with chassis swap. Basically, we just chop everything off of it, and we have the running gear, or what we call the drivetrain, and that is basically all running. It's, you know, probably got lower mileage. It's more trustworthy. It's maybe fuel injected. All those are big pluses to some people. So if you're going to do a chassis swap, obviously we're going to have a body that's going to fit on the chassis to some degree. We can narrow things, we can stretch things out and make it fit. There are a lot of videos, guys are doing that, so you can look up chassis swaps, stuff like that. All original. This is getting a little more difficult to do. The reason is because some of the cars that are out there that you might be interested in, parts get thin. They're getting scarce, and the shiny guys, they're collecting a lot of, you know, if their car gets rear-ended or they hit a pothole, bends them, they want parts in reserve, so they're collecting parts. As car people, we collect parts. Okay, it's just kind of what we do. But the all original is kind of like, do you want to keep the frame? Do you want to How much of it do you want to keep original? Because some of the old stuff you have to understand and agree that it wasn't the best engineer stuff. Some of this newer stuff is really cool, okay? And I know there's purists and they're going to be like, you're an idiot. Whatever, that's okay. It's just, it's a part of the genre. Get with it. Mismatch. Look, you can have a car from 30 to 45. You're like, I love this car, but I hate those fenders. I love this car, but I hate that grill. It's okay. The nice thing about mismatching is you can find out what you like, and we can put it together, and you can make that rat rod that you envision here on paper, on video, on CAD. We can make it happen. And there's a lot of cars that those parts transfer over to. Okay? This is the one. This theme. Themes are cool. I got this nautical up here. There was a guy at one of the car shows I was at. I don't remember the car. That's because I didn't pay attention to the car. I paid attention to the details, and the details were all nautical themed. Just stuff from the Navy years he was in. I don't know where he got it, but he collected it, and it was really cool. And all I can remember is, there was places where he had nautical lights, and some that were the non-explosive stuff that's on the newer battleships and stuff. Some was old, some tall wood ships. It was just really neat, and that stuff stuck in my head. I couldn't tell you what the model of the car was, but that's okay. Okay, that's part of creating your own artistic view of this vehicle that you have, or you're starting to build in your head. Well, finally, hackery. Hackery is, in the old days we used to say, oh, that bike is chopped. It's got hardtail under it. It's got this venting. It's got shaved handles. It's French this and French that. That's okay. Those are things that over the years of have built the different subcultures that we talked about last week. But true hackery is, I'm going to take these rear quarter panels off this 66 Sabre and I'm going to put them on this 55 something. That's what hackery is. And whether it's stitched together and it looks like hell, or it's pristinely done, put together and you couldn't even tell, both are okay. That's the beauty of the rat rod subculture, is it's all okay, right? And listen, if you got somebody who's over there going, I don't think that's cool, it's okay. He'll walk away, and the rest of us will go, dude, that's cool, great job. Why? Because it's your idea. That's the beauty in the rat rod era. If you want to build a shiny car, go at it. Go at it. There's enough people doing it. You pay somebody to build that rat rod, it comes from here. You've got to build it yourself. And we're going to help you out with that. Okay, so start here. Pick an era, figure out what kind of body or style, what you want to go with. And then we've got to kind of decide what you want to do here. All right, you got to be flexible with this because we're going to run into some problems as we go in sourcing. We're going to talk about sourcing next week. All right, stay with me. Come back, hit that subscribe button, hit that likes. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week on Tin Can Customs.